red. See how it turns red. Good evening and welcome to the February 24th, 2026 Board of Trustees meeting. I'm going to call this meeting to order. I'm Gina Steiner and I'm going to turn it over to Eric Fong to read our mission statement.
Inspiring curiosity and connection.
Thank you. Jason, you want to do the welcome?
Good evening. We have with us tonight Executive Assistant Tammy Jeffries, Deputy Director, Chief Financial and Operating Officer Dan Baer. We also have Deputy Director of Public Services Shannon Peterson, Director of Human Resources Chandra Tellerico, Director of the Kitsap Regional Library Foundation, Executive Director, that is, Wendy Kyle, and we have the Director of Strategy and Communications, Jeannie Allen, and last but not least, the Director of IT and Facilities Management, Mike Rose. And we have special guests from the communications team presenting a mission moment tonight. Ayanna Jones, we have Caitlin Nicholas, and we have Victoria Gingray, and who else? That's it, Tara Tapia. And we have, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses. Tara Tapia. And they're going to present our 80th year anniversary recap, and excited to have them all here. Note to self, put on glasses when introducing. So we're happy to have them. Thanks.
Yay, we got a full crew tonight.
Yep.
All right, are there any additions or changes to the agenda? All right, no additions or changes. And we have no public comment tonight, so we're going to move right into the consent agenda. All matters listed within the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion of the Board of Trustees with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired, items may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request. Does anybody wish for any separate discussion? No separate discussion. Then I'll take a motion to approve minutes of January 27th, the regular board meeting, payment of January 2026 expenditures, payroll and benefits by blanket voucher bills, and surplus materials withdrawn from the collection for January 2026, 3,494 items. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
I'll abstain because I wasn't here
Okay.
last week or last month. So.
Sorry, I didn't ask for an
That's okay.
abstention. You got that, Tammy? Thank you. All right, that moves us right into our presentation, our mission moment, Library for All, celebrating 80 years.
Great. Okay. All right. Can you hear me okay? Good. Great. All right. Hello. Thank you very much for having us tonight. We are here to discuss and celebrate our 80-year marketing campaign. My name is Victoria Gingray, and I am the Marketing and Communications Manager, and we are the communications team. How I generally describe the scope of our work is if you visit us digitally or in print, anything you see with our logo on it is probably come from our department in some form or another. The signage, handouts, bookmarks, stickers, t-shirts, lanyards, and so much more are created by this incredible team of individuals. Ayanna Jones, our Marketing and Communications Coordinator, Caitlin Nicholas, Content Specialist, and Tara Tapia, our Graphic Designer. Like I said, I am the Marketing and Communications Manager, and we work with Jeannie Allen to tell the story of Kitsap Regional Library. So let us begin, not in 1945, but in May 2024. This campaign started with a conversation. As a lot of our work does, we began brainstorming in earnest as to what the celebration of our 80 years would look like, and over many, many months, in collaboration with each other, as well as with input and feedback from our staff and the community, we launched our campaign on January 1st, 2025, with a teaser on our website promising something big coming soon.
Hello everyone, my name is Ayana Jones, and my main role during this project was the illustrations. So as a team, we started brainstorming the artwork about 20 months before the campaign officially launched. We considered how each piece individually and the suite as a whole would reflect each community, library branch, and aspects of life in Kitsap County. We wanted to instill a sense of personal pride in the branch and in community. So through this thoughtfulness, we could create something for everyone. At the end of our brainstorm session, we narrowed the list of art ideas down to 27, 3 ideas per branch, and polled staff in August 2024. It was essential to get buy-in from people who live in the communities and work in the branches that we're trying to represent artistically. We had great feedback on the form of over 120 responses, and each location had a clear winner. So I started sketching with good old-fashioned pencil and paper before I moved on to digital. And since one of the many goals of our passport was to encourage travel throughout the county, I chose an art style that was reminiscent of WPA National Parks travel posters. And an unexpected challenge during the drawing phase was finding out what salmon actually live in the Manchester area, because our patrons are very smart, so if I drew the wrong fish, they would absolutely notice and call us out for it. So I connected with Jacqueline and Nell, who work at the Manchester branch, and then they connected me with Louis, who is the authority on salmon in that area. And he was super friendly and knowledgeable, and he came all the way out to Sylvan to meet with me, and he showed me diagrams of all the fish in the area and was super excited to talk to me. So I also learned a lot about salmon in this process. And then while I was working on the cards, Tara was developing the stamps for each location. The card art and the stamp art each complement each other and add another layer of fun in the details. And so after months of behind-the-scenes work, we launched the Passport to Explore on Valentine's Day 2025. And one of our favorite stories from launch day was one couple who decided to make the Passport their Valentine's Date activity for the weekend. And the staff on Frontline also took it to the next level by creating displays and highlighting activities around what was unique about their branch and community.
I'm Caitlin. I'm the content specialist for the team and a writer in the department. So heading into spring, our main focus was building momentum. In March, our team supported Staff Day. Tara designed signage for all of the presentations that day that would also complement the 80-year activities we had, as well as our t-shirt designs, which all staff were given and were allowed to select the one that represented their branch or home, as the case may be, the best. The photo that was taken of our staff that day was used in our annual report and also when we were talking about the levy proposition. So my role as the writer in the department involved researching our history for the Passport, both the timeline that was running through the document, but also the history of each branch. And that research was applied toward our museum exhibit and just digital storytelling throughout the year, which involved getting into local history books, working with city, county, and state archives. A lot of our history was handwritten. It was on notes and agendas from board meetings in decades past. And so that did make it pretty difficult to confirm a lot of our history using multiple sources. But after the fact, it was really satisfying to be able to build a more thorough record for the library's use in the future. My other role was our digital and social media presence, which played a big part in the mug hunt. So we launched the mug hunt in April, and the goal was to both build excitement, but also familiarize patrons with the 80-year anniversary artwork and our year-long Passport to Explore project. The mugs showcased Ayana's stunning artwork, and Tara went so far as to design the mug tokens to be hidden by staff throughout the branches because the mugs themselves were quite large, so we needed something smaller to hide to encourage that exploration. We timed the hunt over a 15-day period to coincide with spring breaks and hopefully maximize participation. And going into it, we really didn't have any idea what the reaction or participation from the community would be, and it was extremely popular. 280 mugs were given away throughout those 15 days. Staff hid tokens every day, and we would post hints every morning to our Instagram stories with basically the mug with that branch's artwork to help patrons figure out where to go to hunt for the mugs that day. So from April 5th to 20th, the hunt was on. Staff likened the energy to Black Friday. Patrons would line up before the branches opened, and they would move with vigor throughout the library, and a lot of excitement trying to find those mugs. We saw door counts spike during this period, 58% increase at Little Boston, and patrons said they visited branches that they'd never seen before. We did learn lessons during this period of time that helped us make our future challenges and events more accessible. For example, we had a patron who DM'd us on Instagram saying that they had to set up transportation a full day in advance. And so if the hints were posted that morning, it was too late already for them to get to the branch in time. So we adjusted that and started posting the hints more than 24 hours in advance so that people could plan a little bit better. And happily, we actually got a follow-up message from that same patron who was able to find a mug at Sylvan Way. Overall, the mug hunt generated a ton of excitement for the Passport 80 Years project, and that carried throughout the year. And this was proven the following month when more than 200 people came to our anniversary celebration at the Silverdale branch. Our department supported that with print and digital invitations and promotions, and we brought pom-poms, balloons, and other swag to the party, and it was a big party.
So in the midst of our work supporting the launch of Passport to explore the mug hunt and staff day, we were also well underway developing materials for summer learning. So 2025 was my first time working on summer learning, but my teammates already had a really great process in place. We heard overwhelmingly positive feedback from staff and patrons on the material our team developed to support, including the booklet, t-shirt and pin prizes, along with hourly prizes of the notebook and octopus tote bag, plus the brand new teen octopus tracker that's pictured here, as well as the website and event photography throughout the summer. We saw the success of our efforts as well as collaborations with public services and collections and technical services. 10-hour finishers went up 10% and 100-hour finishers went up 21% from 2024. And a lot of participants told us that they used the Passport to explore as their Do Something Challenge activity.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tara. I am the graphic designer in the department, and that was also my role on this project. While summer learning was being produced and our 80-year campaign was in full swing, we were also busy producing the annual report and launched another highlight of the year, our Levy campaign. We promote elections every year, and this past year was no different, with the special edition of Library Levy Proposition 1. Throughout our campaign, we offered voters neutral language and messaging so they could make their decision come August 5th. To support this, our team created staff handouts and talking points, bookmarks, in-branch posters, and promotions on our social media and website. We celebrated the passage of the levy at 62% with an update to our website and materials in-branch and on social media. Earlier in the year, we cultivated a partnership with Kitsap Historical Museum, which resulted in creating an exhibit about the library. This felt like the perfect way to continue celebrating the library's 80th year. We visited the space in May 2025 to begin planning for a September 2025 exhibit launch. After wrapping up our annual report production and the levy launch in May, our team spent late June through September researching, sleuthing archives, sorting, scanning, and retouching historical photos, recording audio, designing for physical space and graphics, streaming, and installing our exhibit to prepare for opening night. Our summer was spent carefully building and reviewing each detail for accuracy, even clarifying the library's official anniversary date alongside state archivists. Just a little note switch. Again and again, we uncovered evidence of innovation ahead of the times, including being the second in the state to offer a digital catalog. During development, we fell in love with Dewey the library cat, pictured here, partnered with RePC, located in Seattle and Tukwila, to provide a period-accurate computer like the ones patrons would have used early in the computing era, complete with Oregon Trail. Yes, one must have Oregon Trail. Caitlin worked with library staff to record book passages from each decade, and we brought in a card catalog for patrons to search through, finding cards as well as other treasures that had been found in books, drops, and branches as fun, interesting surprises. Our exhibit opened on September 25th with the History Uncorked event, an evening moderated by Josh Farley, celebrating the stories of past and present library employees and the history of our organization. Our goal was to give the library patrons and non-patrons alike an immersive experience of what it means and has meant to be a library patron. Our story is intertwined with that of Kitsap County, the location, the people, and the community. If you haven't seen it already, we invite you to visit and see it for yourself. The exhibit is on display through the end of March.
Okay, so the fun has continued since. Throughout the rest of the year, we've provided support digitally and in print. We partnered heavily with the MLK branch to coordinate several 80-year themed events, including a story night at the Roxy, a library-themed trivia night at Manette Saloon, a First Friday art walk promoting the museum exhibit, 2 library-themed movie screenings with partners at Olympic College and the Roxy once more, and through it all, we also developed a partnership with Silver City Brewery to support these events with a special Biblio brew, benefiting the library through the foundation. The foundation was another incredible partner of ours throughout the year and through our collaboration to sell the stamp designs you see here, as well as make older summer learning designs available for purchase once more. The foundation generated $20,000 in sales and welcomed 420 first-time donors. Even today, we continue to receive feedback from community members and staff expressing their joy and passion over the 80-year campaign. This momentum, built throughout 2025, created opportunities for support and deepened pre-existing love for Kitsap Regional Library in a critical year. Celebrations continue. Just this week, the middle photo you see, we were thrilled to attend the unveiling of Ayana's 80-year Kingston Library art being unveiled in the open air gallery in Bremerton. So go and see that if you haven't. Yes, on Washington Avenue, just down yonder. Additionally, we look forward to entering our 80-year work to be considered for a John Contandano Award for the American Library Association. Next slide, please. Thank you. What I hope to leave you with, and I think what we all hope to leave you with, is that this was not only created in collaboration with this incredible team, which is 5 folks supporting 9 branches and hundreds of team members, but also in collaboration with our colleagues across the library and our community members. I often say that one of the worst things we can do is create something that people don't want, understand, or know how to use. This campaign was anything but that, and as a manager, it was hugely satisfying, sometimes terrifying, but ultimately successful team effort that relied on each of us, often working on multiple things at once, doing work we'd never done before, while also, next slide please, balancing work and life. I could not be more proud of this team and the work that we've created, and I really appreciate the opportunity we've had to share, and hopefully you can see in our photos, we had a time. So, any questions that we can answer?
I just want to applaud you guys again.
Thank you.
I feel like my face is tired because I was sitting here smiling the whole time. What an impressive feat all the way around. Do you guys have questions?
First off, I may be one of 2 that have all the mugs, so, you know. When I received the mugs, I was super excited. I don't even have a favorite mug because they're all really great. I will say I would love to ask for your autograph to autograph my mugs. I think that would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate that. And if you have any of the concept arts that were created into a mug, I'd love to have those too. But the mugs are just really big. Just looking at all the designs that you've done throughout the 80th, but just period, the T-shirts, it's really a big deal, right? Collecting the library cards. It's just really impressive, a really good way to get immersed into the library and feel like you're participating. So I really look forward to that. I don't know if you would consider doing old school like baseball pennants, because I thought about hanging my shirts in my office, but I also want to wear them, so I'm not really sure what to do. But I just really appreciate all the work that you've done, and it really shows through that you really enjoy working together, and it shows in your work. Thank you.
Yeah, I also have all the mugs, but I had to pay for them like a normal human being. You got them because they like you. Thank you for sharing. The work you do, is such the X factor in everything this library does, and the fact that there's branding that ties the whole branch together, but also each branch has its own unique piece. I think that's something that makes the library really special. So thank you for that. I also appreciate bringing up that some of the sketching started 20 months before, because I don't know that the public and even us, I don't know that we've really wrapped our heads around that it's not just something last minute that you came up with. There was a lot of thought that you all put into it, and a lot of care and a lot of love. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a huge project, but I think it was a great success. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Just on behalf of leadership, I just want to thank you again. It's obvious you all take a lot of pride in your work. It's obvious that you enjoy doing it, and it's obvious that the work paid off in lots of ways. And I have a bit more to share in my board report, but I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the leadership team, because you made the passing of the levy, I think, possible with the engaging artwork and the engagement in terms of people waiting and exploring our branches. And I think that's one of the benefits that people didn't see, is that we had a lot of people travel between branches, not only to follow the mug hunt, but the general excitement in getting that passport stamped. And I just really wanted to congratulate you again on a job well done, and the job you're continuing to do. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to board member reports. I'll start down with Monica, and anyone down that end have anything to share?
I'll just say that I really wanted to get a Silverdale Library individual design card, so I finally, when my daughter was home in January, I drug her down there, and along with my son, and all three of us got our new library cards, so it's exciting. The Silverdale one.
I don't have anything to report.
Yeah, I had Thai food with Jason, and it was really good. And also attended the Kitsap Regional Library Foundation Executive Committee meeting, where we had a lot of discussion about upcoming policy and talking about the rest of the year for the foundation. So excited about that. Also attended an event that BPL, not KRL, but BPL, Bainbridge Public Library, holds every year, called Book Lovers Day Out. A bunch of the community comes out, and we get to hear about some of the new books coming out. It's a partnership between BPL and Eagle Harbor Books. So fun event, and that's what I did.
This Friday I'll get the opportunity to spend some time at the Bainbridge Library, which I haven't been to yet, for Black History Month, so I'm looking forward to that. And I just kind of wanted to talk about books, which is kind of what the library is, but it's so many other things, and so many different curated books for Black History Month, and next month is Women's History Month. So I encourage people, if you're looking for something to read, please come into your library. All the experts are there. But I did need to switch to something a little bit more serious. That's really passionate to me as well. And as you know, the weather really dipped over the last few weeks, and the severe weather shelter is activated. And unfortunately, at the same time, Salvation Army closed. But the library stepped up like it always does. It's like the post office. It's like rain, snow, sleet, it doesn't matter. The library is there and took on, the folks to come in out of the cold, out of the rain, out of the snow, and provided that space for them. In almost every library, we picked folks up and made sure that they got to where they needed to go. And so that just does my heart good to see the library just doing all of the things, but the things that most people don't see, doing the hard work as well as the hard work. So I just really wanted to touch on that this month.
That's awesome. Thank you, Marwan. I partnered with Jason, and the tribe donated a new book that we released, written by retired Chairman Ron Charles, who served 20 years on council for the Port Gamble-Sklallam tribe, and an elder, and it's called My Heart is Good. So we made sure each branch had 2 books in circulation. So that was fun. And then I also want to thank the foundation for making it easy to donate, because that's how I deal with my guilt. So thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to report from Eric Vaughn for Long Range Strategic Planning Committee.
Actually, Marwan's going to give that update.
All right. Well, I'll keep it really short. I've talked a lot tonight. Our human resource director has been onboarded, which everyone knows, and she has been doing a fantastic job and is integrated very well. And as far as everything else, everything is on pace and going well, and there will be more to talk about in the months to come. That is my report.
Thank you, and I'll turn it over to you, Dan, for the financial report.
Well, I'm going to echo Marwan as well and say everything is on pace and on target, and we'll see more in the months to come.
Jason, if you echo that, it's going to be a short meeting.
I can't. Okay. You know I can't. I'm working on being concise. I'll dig in 7 minutes. Go. Good evening, trustees. January was foundational. I'll fill in the blanks here and the edges. Really, it's about setting the priorities for the organization for the upcoming year on a strategic level. And so, you know what the central theme is this year. It's all about getting back to the basics. Customer service is our central theme. And we already do customer service very well, but it's important to always take a step back. The library is always a changing organism, and we have to ensure that we have the best possible practices when it comes to customer service, both inside with regard to team to team, and then, of course, how it looks for our teams outward for customer service. So we're really excited that we're building a pathway through customer service for this year. So it's not just a slogan, and it's not just a temporary initiative. Customer service is always our base, and it's always from that that we grow and that we're loved by our public. And so we're really focused on getting back to the basics. We're hoping that our trustees can join us at our All-Staff Day, which is, I believe, March 19th, and we will be digging in more closely to what that looks like from a training perspective. We've already started that process. And so we're really reinforcing policy interpretation, strengthening our service consistency, and again, refining all of our processes and retraining on the fundamentals so that we can allow staff to confidently go about doing their jobs, all of us, from administrators down to every staff member. And so you'll see that reflected in our upcoming staff day, which is Small Actions, Big Impact. And then at the same time, we're aligned with our broader strategic initiatives, tools, our digital resources, accessibility improvements, all the things that we've designed or we've laid out in our strategic plan and that we went out to levy for will be ensuring that we're ready to move forward with those projects. A lot of what we're doing this year is laying the foundation for projects that will flow out towards the tail end of this year and on throughout the years. In terms of leadership and engagement, getting back out on the trail, meeting with leaders, and talking about the library. I participated annually in Library Legislative Day again in Olympia, where I talked about initiatives for the library and attempting to just keep our legislators in tune with where the library is going strategically and to, of course, always ask for their support. And so that was a good session that I had. I also met with different library leaders from Snow Isle, Timberland, and attended the Central Kitsap School District's Long Range Facilities Planning Committee. And of course, open office hours, starting to hold those again at Sylvan Way. And then, you know, connections matter, and it's really wanted to talk about that. It's important that the library remains visible with the help of course, our communications and marketing team. They do a great job in doing that. I certainly don't need to do that. But in terms of, from a library leader perspective, it's important to always get out and build community with our leaders and to ensure that we're providing the services that are expected and that the expectations are met from all of our community members. And so that's been a big part of my work, and excited to continue that. Down the human resources trail, you've heard about our brand new human resources director who's jumped right in. And so we're happy about that. We celebrated a retirement from Claudia Mitchell from Little Boston, who was a longtime employee of Kitsap Regional Library. So while we're sad to see her go, it's also an opportunity for new beginnings. And so I wanted to celebrate Claudia. We couldn't do it last month because she didn't want it, and she's not here anymore. I want to celebrate Claudia for what she's done for our organization. And so honoring that service and preparing for the next chapter, we are preparing for the levy, and so we'll have new positions coming up, and there's an opportunity for more stability for the organization and more growth and focusing on our infrastructure. I want to also highlight the exceptional work of our biggest asset, again, which is our people. And so Michelle Swadesh, who stepped into branch leadership at Bainbridge, I really want to call out her work. She has been a true professional for us and has served as everything from an associate to a youth services professional to back in management as a public services supervisor. And so she's brought calm and steady leadership and steady practices to Bainbridge. And then Isla Soto, who's another staff member at Bainbridge, was recognized by just her ability to provide services in a creative way, and so really happy about her work. Wayne Holder, Teen Services Librarian at Port Orchard, has really gotten himself into the Port Orchard community in a way that, and he's not long in terms of being with us, I think a couple years, but it's really been neat to see him connect with staff, work with youth, and he's really built a lot of momentum amongst teens in Port Orchard. Rudy Chavizo, who's one of our mobile services professionals, has really helped expand outreach and helped especially shoulder the load through a couple of closures. We, of course, had the Bainbridge closure at the end of the year for the solar repairs and the Sylvan closure at the beginning of this year, and Mobile Services really stepped up and was able to provide a lift for both of those locations. So I really want to recognize not only the contributions of Rudy, but the entire mobile staff and Sylvan staff. And then our internship team, those young adults have just gotten hired. I'll have more to say about them, and hopefully we'll get a report from those folks later in the year. And then these aren't just isolated examples of leadership within our system. They're all over the place. And so I'm glad we have the mission moment to recognize the talent, and you'll see more of that. On the performance data, CERC was down a little bit, and that's noteworthy just because Sylvan was closed for a significant amount of time. It's one of our higher circling libraries, and so I think that dip was certainly expected, and beginning of year is always a little slower. And so the context obviously is that Sylvan was closed from the 26th through the 19th. Physical collection also declined, and also noteworthy, Sylvan, which is a big part of our circulation, was closed. But we're seeing a lot of growth in digital engagement. Notably, we added a couple of resources, and so we're starting to see some of the fruits of our levy win in terms of adding value for those digital resources. I think a lot of people are happy to get the New York Times now, and so our digital engagement really shot up over 58% in January. And then mobile services engagement is growing. Obviously, we're looking to expand mobile services, and so that bodes well for us. Printing has increased by about 15%, demonstrating that obviously people are still invested in that service. The adjustments we made from a costing perspective have not dampened that enthusiasm for printing. And then lastly, talking about Sylvan, obviously we were closed for a significant amount of time because of a significant plumbing situation. And so it's important to note that about 5 years ago, we did a study, and really was an assessment from McKinstry about what we were looking at with Sylvan in terms of its infrastructure. We then knew we had about 5 years, and it's been about 5 years. And so obviously you can't jump into a new building right away. There's an extended process for that. And so reopening the branch is important because I think one of the things we all know, anytime we close a branch, it has a significant impact on the community. and we never like to close locations. But it's important to note, while we were closed, we were able to both assess more what that plumbing situation was like. I really want to give kudos to our facilities team who really managed that work all year. And so we're really, now that we've gotten those repairs done, there's significant investments required to be able to make Sylvan whole. And so what that looks like is we're starting to pivot aggressively towards a long-term replacement of that facility. So what that's going to look like now is us laying the groundwork for what could be later on a ballot measure. And so we're still trying to determine partnerships. We're still trying to determine what that pathway will be like, and we'll have more to share with the board once we do that. But what we have shared in the strategic planning committee is that we're considering all options, including a bond later in the year. But in order to do that, we think it's prudent to have a building partner who's able to share that space with us so we can reduce the eventual cost for taxpayers. And so Sylvan was last bonded in 1975. That was the pathway then, and that will likely be the pathway in the future. And so really want to give a shout out to Mike, the facilities team, public services for their work, and communications for all of their work in really communicating what was happening, and that work still continues just because there's a lot of people who use Sylvan Way. And so lastly, our focus, of course, is a deeper dive into that, and really the last thing is to where we started is the 80-year anniversary celebration. I just wanted to talk briefly about that as I reflect on what that did for us, and we're still seeing the benefits of it in terms of patron interest. I still read comment cards for people still wanting mugs and still wanting passports and all the things that people have engaged in. The talk has not stopped about that, but it really did invite the community to see themselves in the story of the library. And I think that's the most impactful thing is like, we're about stories. The library is about storytelling. It's about giving the gift of curiosity to people. And we were able to do that perfectly through this campaign. So if anything really in 25 exemplified what our mission was, it was this particular project. And so I'm really proud of the way this team dug in for that, because it helped us all, and we all rode the backs of the communications team. And so I hope they know they are loved and revered in our library system for the work they do. That anniversary year invited the community to really take part in everything we did, and for that I am truly grateful. And we're reviewing, lastly, what this will look like for us in the future. And so if the engagement we had last year is any indication of what the future is like for us, we have a bright future, especially with this talented team. So in closing, we're a resilient organization, we're adaptable, and we're seeking to provide more clarity, not only for ourselves and our practices and the way we do business. We're not the same library system we were even 4 years ago when I started. Any organization that does not seek to change and align won't be successful. So we're shaping up operationally, culturally, strategically, and I'm grateful for the board and leadership's partnership in this endeavor. There are a lot of challenges, but we'll get through them. If last year was any indication, with the plethora of challenges we had as a unit, we passed a levy and we celebrated an 80-year anniversary, and for that I'm truly grateful. So thank you, trustees. Questions? Comments? You're ready to go home.
No, you summarized that well, Jason. It was a big year, so thank you. We don't have any old business and we don't have any new business, which is really unusual, but I suspect next month will make up for that. And the next meeting is March 24th. And so with that, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.